Hello there,
Hello there.
and welcome to the Pop Culture Cult. This is Sean, and this is the Rebel Files, your one-stop shop for everything Star Wars, movies, TV shows, news, notes, wild speculation, and all that jazz. Sometimes we talk about toys, too, and comics, books, and books, too. I'm reading Master and Apprentice right now. I'm super excited. This is me by myself tonight. Josh is still recovering from surgery, and he was going to try to come out and record tonight, and he's got 5 holes in his belly, so we're going to keep him at home and not push it too much too fast. But what we wanted to do tonight was to do a Star Wars Celebration highlights that I found very fun and very interesting and stuff. We weren't there in Chicago, although I kind of wish I was there, and then I'm really glad we weren't there since everybody got snowed in trying to leave on Sunday and the fiasco of everybody trying to get home. I saw that one person on Twitter posted they were going from Chicago to Pittsburgh to Philadelphia to Los Angeles just to try to get home, so I'm glad we didn't go for that part. But what we want to talk about is a lot of the stuff that maybe isn't the big stuff, but for the most part was stuff that I found really kind of cool. To start off with, we have to talk about all the big panels. We had the Rise of Skywalker, the Episode 9 panel, and the trailer. We did a full trailer and trailer breakdown. That was a lot of fun. I've watched it probably 20 or 25 times. It's awesome. We got the At Galaxy's Edge, the new Star Wars land that's coming to both Disneyland and Disney World with all kinds of cool stuff, interactive stuff, the app, some of the merchandise you can buy there. They kept showing the merchandise that you can buy throughout the weekend as well. We got the Mandalorian panel. We got some footage. We got some photos and stuff like that. But then they cut the live feed, and then somebody later posted it to the internets because that's just how it is nowadays. We got the Clone Wars panel. That was, I've watched about half of it so far, and them talking about the final season that's coming to Disney Plus, and that panel has been a lot of fun to watch so far. And then there was a bunch of other things. The technical one where they showed how they do the special effects, the 20th anniversary panel of Phantom Menace. And I have Josh here to tell me what I'm trying to say. We had all the book panels. We had them playing video games. We had Jedi Fallen Order, which looks pretty amazing. We got the Vader VR game that looks pretty amazing too. We had Sisters of the Force, all-woman panel talking about how women are. It's important for women to be in Star Wars and stuff like that. There's just a bunch of really fun, cool panels that went on. The panels were for 4 days, but the con itself went for 5, and it was just a lot of fun to watch for me doing CouchCon 2019. CouchCon is something that the guys at Force Center kind of coined, and I've been blatantly stealing it. And so let's talk about a couple of the highlights of stuff that I really liked. First off, I want to talk about the reception that Kelly Marie Tran got both at the Rise of Skywalker panel and on the live stage. What she went through with social media trolls is not acceptable at any level. But the Star Wars fans circling the wagons around her at Celebration, it was just heartwarming to see that. To see that they embraced her for an awesome job for a really cool character. And also Ahmed Best. Ahmed Best got a standing ovation in multiple places. Both the two that I saw was the live stage, the Star Wars live stage, and the episode, the Phantom Menace panel. And I'm getting a little choked up because he's talked about how the backlash for Jar Jar and how people kind of went after him for playing this character, and how he got he was depressed and considered suicide and stuff like that because he was struggling to deal with the backlash that came from playing this character. And he's one of the leading people in the mocap world. And so seeing how they were received by everyone there and how everybody was super excited to be there. One of the best interviews I saw all weekend was Ahmed Best with Andy and Anthony from the Star Wars show on the live stage. And just, it was super fun to watch. And so I was just really happy with that. There was a really cool point on the live stage, which is where a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be talking about is going to be there. Ashley Eckstein came out to promote her universe and Clone Wars and her just being awesome and all this stuff. And the guys from Galaxy's Edge showed up with a box with the first set of Ahsoka lightsabers to give to her. And her reaction to receiving these lightsabers was just so cool. Like, little kid joy in her face when they pulled them out of the box for her, and she's holding them, and they put the blades on and they lit up, and her surprise, she's like shocking surprise. And then she, got in the Ahsoka stance and stuff. It was just so cool, so fun to watch. I've watched that part probably 3 or 4 times now, and just her sheer love of everything Disney, but especially Ahsoka Tano, and her embracing it. She was even wearing it was a Ahsoka Tano sweater, something like that. And her hair, she had her hair all braided up in like lakus, and it was just cool. It was just way cool. Speaking of Star Wars live stage, the coverage that Andy and Anthony and the whole staff was just so well done. Just the interviews they had and their interaction with the crowd. They were out on the main floor. They weren't tucked away in some corner. They were in the main part of the floor. And so having everybody come out and do interviews, they had JJ and Kelly Marie Tran, they had Ahmed Best, they had Jason Honorable Taylor. I mean, they had just random people. And then they had people from different booths show up with, the Funko guys were there, Hot Toys were there, Her Universe was there. They did a fashion show for Her Universe. They also had Jordan Himbro, I think it's how you say his last name, from Toy Hunter. He's a really, really cool cat. He did some stuff this last summer with My Star Wars Story for StarWars.com. Having him roaming around the floor, talking to cosplayers, talking to people, just regular people who he just asking them what they bought. Show me what you bought. Let me see the stuff, and getting people's Star Wars stories and stuff like that was really a lot of fun to watch from people who were actually on the floor having a good time. And then they had all this coverage. They went and interviewed people at different booths and had them show all the stuff that's going on in the booth at Galaxy's Edge, and they had the 501st guys and did an interview with them, and just really cool, really great coverage. And it can be very difficult to cover a con when you're showing panels and trying to fill time and there's no really commercials and stuff like that. And so they were all kept their energy way up. The coverage was really good. The sound was really good. It was just, I was very impressed with what they did. We had some friends who were actually on site. William and Kay were both there. They shared a ton of photos with me that I turned around and posted to the Facebook page. All of those albums are on the Facebook page, and I encourage you to go look at them. But the cosplay that they got pictures of and then allow us to share with everyone else was so cool. Like, just the randomness of the cosplayers and the crossover cosplayers and just the people who love Star Wars and want to convey that in wearing a costume, and the level of their costumes. It was just so cool to look at, and I'm really jealous that we didn't get to that would have been most of one day for me. It was just running around taking pictures of all the costume players and the booths and all the setups. There was a full-size TIE fighter, there was a full-size X-Wing, all the cars, Star Wars based cars. So I would really like to thank William and Kay for took a bunch of really good pictures, but B, allowed us to share them, and I'm throwing them up here now. And lastly, the last thing I'm going to talk about, at least here, and then in the future, Josh and I will do some more talking, is IGN got the crowd reaction from the floor of the Rise of Skywalker trailer. It's amazing to watch everybody interact with the trailer on the floor. They weren't in the panels. They weren't in the secondary panel rooms. They were on the floor at the live stage. I'm going to add that video to the end of this. IGN, great job catching that and allowing us to share it with everyone else. I have a ton to talk about more, but next year they announced that closing ceremonies in Anaheim, California. That's 5.5 hours from my front door. So guess what? We're going to do our very best to get there. What's going to help us get there? More subscribers, more Patreons, more followers on the Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, that kind of stuff. So what we're going to ask from you guys is to help Pop Culture Cult out and the Rebel Files. Share this channel, this video, all of the content that we have with your friends and ask them to join. Have them come be part of this conversation about Star Wars and all other kinds of pop culture stuff. You can help us too by subscribing. You've made it this long, subscribe. It's not that hard. It's free. But we're also working on Patreon. You can join Patreon for $1 a month, and it doesn't take anything to find $1 in the couch every month. So help us out there. We're working towards our goal there. Like I said, help us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All of that information is down in the description below. And until next time, here comes the video from IGN. I'm one with the Force, and the Force is with me. Good night now.
We've passed on all we know. 1,000 generations live in you now. But this is your fight.